Good morning, guys. Well, good afternoon. It's 12:30. I know I look a little out of it. I was walking today and just kind of getting my mind right, and just focusing on being grateful. Grateful for life, grateful for family, grateful for my children. A couple of days ago, my son, my 16-year-old, experienced a very traumatic experience in his life. One of his friends was shot, 16 years old. And it just brought us all to a point where we're really even more so focusing on self-growth and just loving ourselves and loving others, because just that whole experience itself has just really hit me here. To see that, we as parents, we really need to be directing our children in the right path. We need to really be holding on to them in a way, not to restrain them or to confine them, but holding on to them with love and teaching them the things that they need to know in order for them not to go out there and experience what this mother and this child had to experience. This has mentally, been really draining me the last 2 days, because this is a person that I knew in my household on a regular basis that would come and sleep over and just hang out with us, and I treated him like he was my son. And so to know that he's no longer here is really something that I'm trying to really take in and understand. I know that God doesn't make mistakes, but this one was a hard one to take, another hard hit. But I think that, in practicing being grateful for things, it sheds new light on life for you. I have been practicing gratefulness. I've been reading a lot of books on gratitude and just loving everything that you encounter in life, loving all people for who they are, and just, I speak about acceptance a lot, and acceptance is also a part of gratitude. You're grateful for the person and and you don't want to change that person. You just want to accept them for who they are and love them as they are. And I've been getting a lot of moments of in this awakening process, and just being reminded of who I really am and whose I am, and just really taking the time to assess myself before I make judgments on other people. Realizing that there are a lot of things that, I may have done in life to people, and it has to be, I have to pay those off, and I'm focusing so much more on gratitude, because that's the one thing that we really don't pay a lot of attention to in our lives. The fact that we get up in the morning, I've started to really get up every morning. I always pray and thank God for life and thank God for waking up. But I started to reword it differently now, where it's I'm grateful that my eyes have opened, and I'm grateful that I am breathing, and that I'm grateful that my children are healthy, and that I'm grateful that all the things that I've done to my body, habits that I've had, things like that they did not affect me. They affected me in the past, but I'm not allowing them to affect me in the present and moving forward. Just learning to really, stop being so critical of others, because people are carrying their own stuff. And to just live in a world where you have to constantly be, someone's pointing a finger at you about all the things that are wrong with you, and not looking at themselves. And I tell you, awareness makes you fully aware of yourself and all the things that areas that you're really jacked up in, and you really need to work and clean up your own stuff and stop worrying about other people's stuff, and focus on cleansing your own spirit, your own soul. You only have to answer for the soul the body that you're in. The soul that you have is the one that you will be answering for, not everybody else's. You don't get to answer for your children and their experiences and all. You don't get to answer for those things. You're responsible for yourself. So start to really look at self and start to remove and declutter, like I always say, declutter and take those things out of yourself that no longer serve you. Remove them. Because life is really short. But life can be so happy and so peaceful and so joyous. Even though I have been emotionally, hit by this, at the same time, I'm so grateful for the experience of having this young man, Devon, in our lives. And so life has taught me to be grateful for the little things. Because God's not going to bless you with the bigger things if you can't be grateful for the little things. I'm grateful for the car that I drive and just all those things. The littlest things, I'm grateful for them, because if I mismanage those things, how will I be able to manage the bigger things? And you go to school, you learn all these different things. You go to school, you learn from management, you learn time management, you learn, all these different skills that, that you learn when you go to school. And you're supposed to incorporate those skills into your daily life. And a lot of the time a lot of us miss the mark. And I've been one of those people where I have missed the mark many a times. And I promised myself, and I set an intention that I would not miss the mark this time. Because not only does my life depend on it and my salvation depend on it, but my children's lives depend on it. And if we as parents, mothers, really focusing on the fact that, a lot of the things that we do affect our generations that come after us. The generation that comes after us will be affected because the karma is not cleared. The negativity is not cleared. When you hear people talking about breaking generational curses, somebody didn't want to do the work. Somebody didn't want to step up and say, you know what? This has got to stop. And I set an intention many years ago that I was going to be the one. If no one else was going to step up, I was going to be the one to break that chain of whatever issues and habits and things like that in my family that were not serving us as a family. I set an intention and I am following through. Because I have 5 children and I do not want them to experience anything that they don't have to experience, because I have the tools to correct and fix and help them. So as parents, that is our jobs, and being grateful for every experience and realizing that you are really just experiencing something. You're experiencing life. And how do you want to experience it? I want to experience mine in a good way, and I want to experience it being grateful. And I don't know how much longer I have on this earth, but the time that I do have on this earth, I want to experience it in the greatest way I can. And I know the only thing that was separating me from that was my direct connection with God. And though I thought I was separate from him, I really wasn't. He was always in me. And if we stop living in that place of separation and stop living in a place of just material things and the tangible things that we can see and feel as being real, there's a lot of things that we need to change about us as a people. Faith is just knowing, trusting, and when you know and you trust and you have gratitude for things, it manifests into the tangible things. You can't live a life and do negative things to people and think that positive things are going to come to you. And I know I've lived like that many times where I've done things and I'm like, okay, well, and because you're not aware of yourself, you live with the blinders on. The veil is over your eyes. You can't see anything. But when you hear people talking about the third eye opening and you're able to really see your role, the role that you play in your story, you got to step up and clean that up. You got to step out of all the other stuff and look at you as a person. Look at you as a parent. Look at you as a lover. Look at you as a wife. Check yourself before you do that to other people. And somebody told me that And I took that as an offensive way of speaking to me, when the truth was I needed to check myself. I needed to check myself. And when you're not checking yourself, everyone else is to blame for the fact that you have not done certain things, or it's someone else's fault when you don't check yourself. So I'm going to tell everybody to check yourself first. Make sure that you're not the common denominator in your issues. Make sure you're not. Make sure you're not the reason for everything happening. Because if you don't do that, you will continue to live in a perpetual cycle of the same thing over and over again. I love Iyanla Vanzant because that woman always tell you, do your work. I'm doing my work. And I think it's time you start doing yours too. If you're not doing it already, do it. It is so worth it. God bless y'all. Trust the process. And I've told y'all many times, these videos are not only for myself, they are for everyone. Because there may be someone that is at a point in their lives where they just don't see a way out. And I'm telling you, this is the way out. Start to look within, and all of those things will project outwardly. When you start looking within and cleaning up your stuff, you change from within. That is what people will see outwardly. When you change from within, that is the real beauty of you, the authentic, beautiful you. Be yourself. And the parts of you that you do not like, clean them up. Trust the process. I love you. And I probably won't be on for a few days, but I love you guys. And I always ask for forgiveness for anything that I have done to anyone in this world that I have hurt in any way. I always ask for forgiveness. And if I have done something to you, I said it before, I apologize and I was unaware. And please forgive me and thank you. Be grateful. Be grateful for all things. God bless y'all and have a great day.